Welcome back on this Monday. Odds and Ends wraps it up in 10 minutes with, as great as Braylon Mullen's story was yesterday, the story of the day might have actually been in golf, and a lot of you may not know about it, but we'll tell you about it coming up. Sam Yarnell, baseball is underway. I watched so much of it this weekend, and then I watched like 5 minutes of the NBA. I felt so bad. I barely watched any NBA this weekend. There were some good games there. All right, Sam Yarnell. 3 storylines from MLB's opening weekend. We begin with number 3. And number 3 is the rookies around Major League Baseball, Sam Yarnell. Munetaka Murakami, wow. Chase DeLauter, wow. But let's start with Munetaka Murakami playing on an 0-3 White Sox team. I thought they were actually going to get their first win yesterday. They blew that in the 8th inning. But Mooney, as they like to call him, raking 3 home runs, and the early transition to Major League Baseball looking pretty good for him.
Yeah, it's incredible to see, Jason. And we talked a little bit about this in our preview. He was one of the guys to watch. But I'll tell you, this rookie class has a chance to be historic. And you saw it over the weekend. And hopefully, one of my overreactions, my friends and I were doing, what are your overreactions from the first?
Yeah.
I think this rookie class could be comparable to what we saw in the late 90s with all of these massive home run hitters all over Major League Baseball. I think it could bring in the attention to baseball around a contract dispute that could help save the sport. It is incredible to see what these guys have done just through the weekend.
I love it. Chase DeLauter, 4 home runs over the first, 3 games of the season or whatever it is for the Guardians. What do you got, a Chase DeLauter autograph or something? Oh, is that where he went? There you go. Yeah, and he's right out of Central Casting, Sam. He looks the part, he plays the part, and he could be a big difference maker. We all picked Detroit, I think, to win that division, and we figure the Guardians will be in the mix, but he could be a real difference maker on that team. It's not just Jose Ramirez and everybody else.
You said it exactly. If they can provide this in a lineup with Jose Ramirez already in it and Steven Kwan still in that lineup too, one of the best on-base guys in the game, it's incredible to see from the JMU alum. I was fortunate enough to see Chase play in college. They were in Hofstra's conference back when we were both in college together, and every time he came to town, it was appointment viewing. Everyone knew this kid was going to be good. Maybe the ugliest left-handed swing in Major League Baseball today, but he gets the job done. Man, and he gets the job done at a historic clip.
Sam Yarnell, number 2.
Number 2, Jason Page. Number 2 from the opening weekend of baseball warms my heart more than maybe anything. More than every 26-year-old, every 20-something out there who loves baseball loves to see Mike Trout once again for at least a couple of days being the best player in the game. And boy, did he show out in Houston for their opening series. I think he was 6 for 13. He's hitting darn near 500. He's got more walks than he's got hits. He's got 2 bombs. He's doing everything, making outstanding plays in the field, stole a base as well. Like, Mike Trout is back to early 2010s Mike Trout form. I saw a hilarious tweet that I couldn't go back and find, but shout out to whoever tweeted this out. It was like, Mike Trout is going to be inspirational for future generations, and it's great to see Mike Trout back in his MVP form. By the way, I'm 27 years old. It's incredible to see Mike Trout once again playing at the very top of the game, Jason. There's truly nothing better.
Yeah, I agree. And look, when he's healthy, it's a joy to watch. Just got to hope he can stay healthy, and that's what Angels fans are obviously hoping for. They won 2 out of 3, I believe, this weekend in Houston against the Astros. And we were talking similarly, while I just have a second, about Giancarlo Stanton, who's off to this insane start for the Yankees, tearing the cover off the baseball as they swept the Giants this weekend. And it's the same sort of thing. When he's on the field, his productivity is hard to match. It's just, can you keep him healthy and on the field? He can't open a bag of chips, but he was mashing all weekend for the Yankees. Story number 1, It has to be ABS. I mean, the opening weekend of Major League Baseball, and teams are starting to figure it out quickly how to use this thing. CB Buckner did not have a good weekend. Let's just say that. Behind home plate for the Reds and Red Sox, he got it multiple times. And you know what? I love this because it's going to start to flush it out. And everybody's going to see, and it's going to be on display, the Laz Diaz's and the CB Buckners of the world that can't figure out where the hell the strike zone is when you've been an umpire for a zillion years. They're going to get called out over and over again, and I hope it calls to attention and eventually starts to rid the game of some of these home plate umpires that don't have a clue, Sam.
Yeah, it is. There is going to be a very interesting development period that you're going to see. Couple of things from you mentioned it, right? The CB Buckner thing, maybe the most electric moment from Great American Ballpark of the entire weekend. They were saying on the broadcast it was the loudest crowd pop of a game that had multiple home runs in it, which is just hilarious to see a guy like CB Buckner, who you and I have talked about being horrible at his job for years, finally getting exposed on the most national stage of them all. I think it's been very interesting to see the kind of ratios of who's challenging what and what rate the challenges are being successful. First of all, pitchers suck, and it's very clear that teams have told the pitchers, you're not allowed to challenge, you're just gonna think everything's a strike. And I think pitchers are 1 for 4 through their challenges. Catchers are incredible. Credit to catchers once again. They're challenging at like a 60% clip, and then the hitters fall more right in the middle. But that has been the most interesting thing to me, to kind of figure out what baseline rules each club have for their batteries.
Well, Derek Shelton wasn't very happy because a pitcher did actually decide he was going to tap his head. He may not have tapped it fast enough for Derek Shelton's liking, and the Twins manager, welcome back to the majors, Derek Shelton, as a manager, gets thrown out in an era where it's hard to get thrown out for arguing anything balls and strikes related, Sam.
Yeah, this was our first ABS-related ejection that we had over the weekend.
Won't be the last.
You know, it wasn't the first instance, Jason, that we had of the kind of delayed tap your helmet, you're not allowed to challenge, or tap your hat, whatever. I think that is the one thing that Major League Baseball may have to figure out a little bit more of a concrete guideline for. I think it's something that they may have left a little bit. The 3 seconds is a little bit arbitrary.
2.
We need a more hardcore number. Right, 2, right. We have a pitch timer. Let's use that, right? That's quick enough.
Yeah, they are gonna have to figure it out. You just don't want guys having enough time to get signals from other people and stuff like that, which is a big part of the problem. We'll come back and wrap it up. Odds and ends are next.